Hooker app is a home use cars app. It helps you discover the state of your car before it's imported, and it will let you know if it is accident free. Just stay tuned. We'll be having a very nice conversation today. We're still in the COVID season, so almost all of our conversation is going to be around COVID. So just stay tuned. The show is Geek Squad. Be right back. Now, mobile money interoperability is powered by GIPS. And GIPS is also, Geek Squad is brought to you by GIPS. Be our hero, be safe, stay at home. Across a year safer. If you want to send money over, powered by GIPS, interoperability. Anyways. Yes. If this is the first time you're listening to us, the show is Geek Squad, and we are the people that break down technology. You know how it gets complicated sometimes. You hear bits and bytes, you hear megahertz, you hear gigahertz, you hear 4G, 5G. Yeah, I intentionally brought that one. And then you hear, Charlie, people are using encryption. I was surprised when I heard someone didn't know what encryption was. See, sometimes we the geeks, we take some of these things for granted. Because we assume that everybody knows. And we throw around jargons, we throw around lots of big computer words, and people just nod, like they understand us, but meanwhile they really do not understand us. So people, if you don't understand, ask them. Don't let them bamboozle you with words like, what was one of those words where they'll send to you, somebody will say something like, you see, right now it doesn't even come to me because it's still so easy. The only easy one that came from me was encryption. Like, it was so surprising. Encryption. Anyway, so today I'm going to tell you what encryption is if you don't know. But not now. So you won't tune off after you know encryption. We're going to have a different conversation. We're talking about working after COVID-19. So today is business unusual. Yes, business unusual. Work after COVID-19. Now, lockdown has been lifted. Everyone is going back to work. Well, some people. Not everyone. Some people are going back to work. There's still people who are working from home. And I can see those who are at work are envying those who are still at home. And some of those who are at home are also envying those who get to go to work because they're depressed staying at home. Anyways, if necessity is the mother of invention, coronavirus forced many around the world to rethink our daily lives from work to school to entertainment. And in response to travel bans, school closures, and recommendations to not gather in large groups and keep our distance from fellow humans, to limit the spread of the virus, many people turn to digital tools to keep some semblance of normality. So you'd realize that schools have taken to using the internet, some have taken to using TV, some are using the radio to reach the students and the pupils. And it's been imperative to digitally transform our places of work and education to be able to operate effectively. So by effect, we have modified how we work. Previously, think about it. Imagine that you woke up one day and told your boss, today me, I want to work from home. Probably look at you like, would you like to take half of your salary? But COVID-19 came and then people were forced to have to work from home. And it's also assumed that companies who are able to use technology well to keep going and rethink their business model for the future by fast-tracking digital transformation will be the ones ahead of their competition. Now, that is what we're going to talk about. The businesses that have been able to use technology well to keep going and to rethink their business model for the future, are they the ones who are going to be ahead of the competition? Are they ahead of competition? Will they be ahead of competition? Or we're just giving them fake fans? Anyways, I'm going to be having this conversation with Desmond Israel. He's a lawyer and a cybersecurity guy. He's not here, but I'll talk to him on the phone. Everyone is practicing, I call it physical distancing. It's not even social anymore. It's now physical. Like, we're giving so much space that it's physical. I can literally see the space because there's only space in front of me. I feel so lonely up in here. Abeku, it's good that you're here. If you're in here, I'll be so lonely. I don't know what I've done. And then we'll be we'll be talking to another person who is described as a work from home expert. My producer, Inshirado, said this guy is a work from home expert. He's called Kingsley Bennett. So we'll be talking to them. And now, hi guys, are you guys online?
Yeah, hi, Desmond here.
Hi Desmond. Kingsley, are you there?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Great. So first off, introduction. Desmond, you're not new to the show, but I'm still going to introduce you anyway.
Works for me.
Are you working from home, Desmond?
Yes, I've been working from home.
Right.
Both as a lawyer and as a security practitioner, I've been working from. In fact, the truth is, I actually quarantined myself a week earlier before the president started the lockdown.
Wow, so you had
I'm 1 week ahead of you.
You had Apple. So as I mentioned, Desmond is a cybersecurity specialist and a lawyer. So yeah, he got some COVID Apple 1 week ahead of all of us. And Kingsley.
Hi, Spiky.
Yes, I'll leave you to do the introduction because Insha says you are a work from home specialist.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
So basically, a lot of the solutions that we give our clients have virtually what you call your remote working solution. So whether before prior to COVID-19, these were solutions that had always been there.
Right.
Clients have not taken advantage of it, but it's always been there. So we've been working on it there. Your digital solutions, we have various other solutions that we look at. How do I ensure that our clients are delighted by making sure that we are ready for our clients or customers anytime, and those are the solutions that we've been delivering over the last couple of years. So whether COVID-19 or not, it's been there. It's all a matter of our clients. How do we ensure that everywhere at any particular point in time, we are ready to respond to what our clients need. And that's what we've been doing over the past couple of years. Yes.
Great. So since you started doing this and since the COVID era, how many businesses have approached you to become, to migrate their employees to work from home?
Interesting, it's amazing how it's in the Ghanaian environment, it's tough. When you get to explain what technology is and what technology can provide, it takes a while for a number of our clients to understand, of course, based on what they are looking for. I quite remember some years back when we started working from home, where some of the multinationals that we work with were already looking for, in case of anything, this is how we get to do it. In this, that apart from the multinationals, it takes a while for our indigenous companies to appreciate what it means to work remotely, to work in case of anything happens, because of course a lot of the time you don't think that anything will happen. You always have to come home.
Yeah.
So you have to come to the office to work. Not to understand the fact that, well, sometimes when it comes to delivering, not necessarily I have to be in the office. All I have to do is to deliver. But interesting enough, even prior to the moment it started happening, in January, a number of clients were looking for it. Okay, in case it gets to Ghana, how do we manage it? Interesting enough, a number of our solutions are already remote ready. So all we have to do is a few configurations and we are ready to go on.
Right.
So yes, a number of our clients have, prior to just even before the president even announced, we're ready to look at, okay, in case it happens. They were looking at options. They were looking at what is our BCP, business continuity plans, in case it happens. As compared to our indigenous companies, a lot of the time our local companies, it's only a few, just a couple of them who think about business continuity plans in case it happens. How do you manage it? So a lot of multinationals and a number of big corporates that we deal with, we're looking at business continuity plans even those that were working with on-premise solutions were looking, in case it happens, how do we ensure that our staff get to work and to ensure that our clients are well taken care of from that. Yes. So a number of companies, and it's interesting to know, even when it happened, when the president said, hey, this is what is going to happen, this is my directive, we still have a number of our local companies interesting to inquire, oh, okay, you can deliver this, but the key thing is, and as you well know, it's about decision making, taking decisions.
Yeah.
It takes a hell of time. They can't decide. They forget that the decisions I take today, whether I wait a zillion years is the same thing I'm going to take tomorrow.
Right.
So it takes a while before they take decisions. But for those multinationals who understand that a customer is key, we want to ensure that we are still working to ensure that we respond to what our clients are looking for. Always looking for what do we do, what's our BCP, what's our business continuity plan. Yes. So a number of customers. It's not like the indigenous customers that have always delayed. Look, they have no option. It's going to happen anyway. Whether the president announced a shutdown or not, it's going to happen. Today, I think it's more or less a dress rehearsal. I think the series is just a dress rehearsal to let them appreciate the fact that, look, there are times that our staff may not be in a position to get to work, but how do we ensure that they deliver 100% and ensure that our clientele are happy, our consumers are happy, our other customers are happy, and ensure that we are responding to them. It's going to happen, whether you like it or not. It's going to happen.
Great. So, Desmond.
Yes, Kobby.
Yes. Since you activated your work from home protocol first, I'd like to ask you, what did it entail when you decided to work from home?
Okay. So the principle of working from home, for many, when you say that, the first thing that comes into their mind is then everything at all about your business had to go home. For starters, if you are not prepared, it's a tall order. So you would have to look at your immediate critical services that you are offering that can easily be moved online, and you have to look at all your options. So you're looking at online support, online negotiations, online meetings, potentially online telemarketing. For a lawyer, you might also be looking at possibility of signing off your contracts or any agreements that you are preparing online. You probably want to initiate your clients who are a bit savvy into the approach of following up on documents that you are working for them online. So I personally opted to use my Google account, which is actually a paid account, so I get a bit more in terms of security, my space, and everything. So I put up these documents online purposely for working on them and getting those who will have to consume those documents later to kind of like follow with the necessary modifications or any changes that need to come with it. All the meetings that I had to attend at the time were also shifted either on WhatsApp for those who were comfortable with it, or a phone conference for those who were comfortable with it, and then to the video conferencing like Zoom, Google Hangout. And I'm a Google fan, so Google Hangout always works for me better. So I had a lot of these meetings online. So all meetings that were very critical had to be moved online. The first week that I said I was actually home, I could count the number of times that I had to go out and actually face up in the meeting. One was purposely to actually sign off a document because it had not been printed out and it had copy at the client site. So I had to go there. And then the second was when I had to actually go to the bank in person to also initiate a transaction. So apart from that, in the first week, everything else was online. So what does it entail? First, look at your critical services that you can quickly move online because that is what you are needed for anyway. And then you possibly want to deal with the little things, probably those who can be postponed. You want to postpone them. I mean, not forever, but postpone them to later dates because working from home also has challenges.
Yeah.
In the situation where we had our kids at home, the whole family is at home, you are challenged with that space. And if you are not in a much bigger space, you're definitely going to be in a meeting and you're hearing people crying in the background.
Yeah.
You know, and there's also the possibility that even if you are in a big home and you have to use probably the hall or an open place to have these meetings, you're likely going to have somebody bumping in from the back, probably from the bathroom, or carrying a bowl of soup across the hallway, you know. So you need to make all these considerations. So first, look at the space where you want to operate from. And if it has to do with video calls, video conferencing, video meetings, then you have to be sure that you would want to use the most secluded place in your environment. It has to be presentable. Nobody wants to, your brand is still following you, whether it's an individual business or a corporate business, your brand is still following you. So you still want to bring out that professionalism, even when you are working from home, especially when you are going to be engaged in video calls and the like. So look at a very secluded place where you can operate from. Be sure of your data. First of all, data adequacy. I can't speak about the quality because look, it's a telco issue. For the past times, we've heard that they are doing their best. We've heard that they've been giving additional spectrum. I had challenges with two of my service providers. I'm keeping them off the record, but it was not the best from the start. But towards, from a week or two ago, I think the service has been a bit better. Funny enough, I had to change location in my house a number of times because at the place you really don't get the reception very well. And so once you choose the secluded place that you're going to operate from, choose your connectivity medium, so internet and then normal phone calls. You have to be sure that the service is good. You have to be sure that your data is up to you. You're ready to be on it. You can't go on a video call that will last for an hour with, say, a 5 Ghana cedi bundle. You can't be so sure. You know. So yes, you want to work from home, but you have to take some additional decisions that would make you arrive there. Those same physical decisions that you take, like getting off to work early, so you know you're going to pick trotro, so you have to leave home early, pick a car. So you're driving, but you know there's traffic within a particular route that you use, so you want to leave earlier. It's the same principle. You can't get up and jump into a meeting online. You will goof. We've seen people come online, and when questions are being asked concerning a certain subject, you could see that they are now scrambling to even pick up documents that they were going to refer to. You prepare the same way you are supposed to prepare to engage in a physical meeting or a person-to-person meeting or an in-person meeting. So the place where you operate from, the data that you're going to use or your connectivity means must be assured. And then you also need to be sure that the little resources in terms of the actual work that you are going to do are also around you.
Right.
For security persons, they would be looking at the remote connection to maybe client side. So the possibility of using a VPN comes into play. If you're doing a lot of financial transactions and you're working from home, you definitely want to work through a VPN. I'll give you a funny story. I actually set up a Wi-Fi at home and just made it free. I just made it a free Wi-Fi. And in a week, I realized I've been actually using my internet with somebody. Yes, you open up, so people are going to connect. That's the point. So definitely, you would have people in your surrounding. They could be savvy, they could be not, but they will be tampering with your connectivity.
Yeah.
And once they are part of your connection, from where I work from, I know that it's even easier to strip off the security that comes with HTTPS because there are technologies that will allow very savvy people to do that. But that's not to throw any scare in the head, not at all. It's rather to bring out to people's attention that when you're working from home, depending on what you're doing, you'd want to be as secured or as conscious as you would be if you were working in person. You obviously won't put an open check at a public place. Yeah. So you can't go on your internet banking when you know very well, I'm going to do all my payments, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm definitely going to do all these things online, and then open yourself up. The kind of interaction that you have from your video call is also important because, like I said, you choose a secluded place. Right. There are a number of people on these video calls. Sometimes it's even a whole conference of maybe 100 or 200 people, and you would see people actually displaying the living room, displaying their environment inadvertently, actually. So it's a message to everybody. we can all practice working from home safely and effectively if we look at the place where we are operating from, the critical business that we want to carry home or carry online, the means of connectivity and the security and possibly the privacy around the operations that you are going to engage from working from home. So yes, in brief, I've used the way I operated to explain what I would consider an ideal working from home situation.
Now that's a great explanation. I think you've basically answered every single question I was going to ask you. So I'm going straight to Kingsley. I think I'll come back to you after 20 minutes. So Kingsley, you mentioned that you developed some solutions for your clients for working from home. Now, what are some of these solutions?
So these are solutions that have always been there.
Right.
Just that we're looking for. The key thing is how do I ensure efficiency? How do I drive productivity wherever I am to ensure the key thing is to drive customer satisfaction. So at
on the company side or on the customer side?
Our companies to ensure that Metro X Technologies just want to ensure that with our clients, with B2B, our business clients want to ensure that we satisfy their clients' needs. So we have Metro X Technologies as three key focus areas. We look at customer interaction management, we look at security, and of course consulting. In the customer interaction management, as my friend just said earlier on, he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
One of the key things is how do we ensure we have solutions that seek to ensure that virtually no paper thing, no paper trail. So everything in a document management portfolio, you are looking at our sign flow that looks like your basic thing, whether HR, approving of documents, contracts, everything is purely digital signature. So on the phone, on laptop, wherever I go, so there's no need of paper.
Yeah.
Everything is purely digital. So of course you just have your digital storage. Any document that's flow, boss, I want to sign off this. It's just a matter of you sending it electronically.
Right.
He looks at it. If there has to be an amendment, he just amends it, signs it off, and that's it. Now it means that wherever I am, I don't have to be in the office. Whether I'm sick, I'm home, wherever I am, all I need to do is just look at the thing, whether on the phone, on my laptop, just look at it, amend it, or sign it off, and that's it. Which therefore means that I don't need to be in the office to sign it off.
Right.
If it will take me a day or two to get to the office, guess what? We are looking at efficiency, productivity. The company need not wait until I get to the office. We have solution in the area when it comes to CRM. So we have a solution that ensures that for any other company, today I want to open an account, I go online, I see they start opening accounts. So digitally, whatever information that I put in, even if I hold somewhere, I get to the bank, I get to the insurance, wherever I am, on the phone, if I don't even complete it, I get to the banking or I get to where whoever wants to complete it. I get there, whether it's a government which is more or less, I don't even know, but the bottom line is it applies anywhere. I'm filling out a form that has to do with foreign ministry. I fill out a form that has to do with the FDA. I have to virtually do it online. It can be approved. Everything can be just that. So purely digital. So we have solutions that ensure for organizations that have call center solutions. We provide call center solutions that you can actually work remotely, whether with a laptop, with internet, with a mobile phone with internet, mobile phone without internet. Your agent can sit anywhere and respond to customer issues remotely.
Right.
That we decided to go that direction. We're looking for efficiency, higher productivity, and in case anything happens, I'm going to the office. I'm supposed to get to the call center, let's say at 9 o'clock. Somewhere, it delays. Something happens. You know how our environment is. It takes a while before I get there.
Yeah.
But I can connect with my mobile phone, whether YAM phone or smartphone. I can connect, I can respond. I call the same number, a customer calls, it hits the console, it's redirected to me. I pick up the phone. So it's more like your call center on the go. So that was the direction. Today we provide IT infrastructure monitoring solution remotely. You want to come on board, you want to manage your entire IT infrastructure, i.e. you are looking at how your network is receiving the applications on it. I want to ensure that my database management remotely. These are solutions that have always been there. So how do we ensure? We're looking at high productivity, cost effectiveness, and to ensure that at any point in time, the customer, that's the end customer, is okay. We provide solutions for the client, which means the business, but of course the client, the customer or consumer on the other side does not see it. But at every point in time, I know that I call my telco, I know that I call my hospital, I know that I call my bank, I know that I call my insurance company, and some way, somehow I call them and they are ready to respond to my need, whatever I require and want.
Right.
Do I need an infrastructure to manage it? And that is what MetroEdge sought to do. So to ensure that there's efficiency, high productivity, and we respond. At the end of it all, is my customer happy? Am I able to ensure that he's happy? Whatever they are looking forward to, we respond to it at minimal cost.
Right.
That is what we, over the period, over the years, we sought for. And they've been there. Interesting enough, around this time, the last few months, the hype had gone up because I want to work remotely. We've been working remotely for a long time. How do people come on board? We always talk about the fact that in Europe and other things, suppose I work from home and all that. These solutions, we have them available. It's for businesses to take advantage of it. My kids, I drop off my kids from in school by 8 o'clock in the morning. I pick them up by 3 p.m. Within that space, do I still want to keep the regular job of 8 to 5 p.m.? Not necessarily, because this time around, you know that this is what I do. I can, by the time I drop them off, between, let's say, 8:30 to 2 o'clock, I'm working and efficiently. I don't have to drive all the way to town to deliver the service. And that is what we do. So yes, work from home solutions have always been there. But good for us. Some of the time, in as much as it's a difficult times around this time, it's an opportunity to bring to forth that these solutions are readily available. As my friend said earlier, look, do I have to be in the office? They are virtually video conferencing solutions. You want to see my face? I can do Zoom. I can do People Link. I can do WebEx. I can do all of those things, and we have them, and that's what we've been delivering over the years.
But have some of your clients resumed work? Have they had some of the employees come back to the office?
Well, I'm yet to do it. Just for proactively, a number of our clients, the moment social distancing happens as well, anything can happen. With social distancing, we are operating a situation where a lot of people come. The course can we work remotely? And I was like, well, your solution is remote ready. So up to today, whether I think it is remote ready, they've already gone remote if they want to come. And interesting enough, a number of them, in as much as it was announced, I'm yet to decide, okay, we are in the office. They are still practicing social distancing. A number of the agents are still working from home. For our solutions that look at the sign flow, which looks at me working from, I can sign documents, and I think they are not in a hurry to come, because guess what? They've been efficiently working. What they are supposed to do, they've been doing. Whether they have to be in the office or they have to be in the office. I firmly believe that perhaps in our part of the world, it's just a call, because the mode of working is not going to be the same as it used to be. Born with the days that you have with call centers, agents have to come at the particular space. Do we still even need that? And the supervisor say, I monitor all the agents in terms of calls that come through and what they respond to. the supervisor is still monitoring. He or she need not come to the call center or to the company premises to do. Are they working efficiently? Yes, of course, the reportings and everything are there. So far, I think it's too early to determine whether they want to. I don't think that for us at Metro Edge, it's still work from home until perhaps end of the month when we assess. Are they working efficiently? Yes. The key thing is that for us, how do we interact with our key partners, the GRAs and the other agencies that we have to deal with? How can we work remotely? That's where we've still been working physically. We have to be there and do certain other things. But apart from that, so far, none of clients, I'm yet to hear. And interesting, actually, we went remotely, and the last client went remotely about a month ago. So we are yet to have that, and it's working from them. They are very efficient, and I believe the customer is going to even know that the agent who is picking our call is working from, let's say, Nima, Dansuma, Apusukai, Kumasi, or any other thing. Bottom line, when I dial the line, what issues get resolved. Yeah.
But all this is dependent on internet. Now, we've spoken more about companies who are, obviously, they have the resources to provide internet for their employees who are working from home. But what about the startup, the person who's sole proprietor, the person who's just sitting in their house running their own business from a phone or from a computer, who, let's say someone who has a shop, who has to now work from home and is probably just using a modem? Because I remember Desmond mentioned security. Now, these same people are going to be using internet as they find it. Let's say if their internet goes down, they're probably going to latch onto someone's internet. They're going to do transactions online and everything. So for someone like that, how do you ensure security for someone like that?
Now, internet security is very critical. For us, on our side, I just want to share with you practical sense. What we sought to do was look at, when we started, to look at cost effectiveness. So a chunk of our solution, the chunk of our solution ensure that you use minimum bandwidth. However, it is very critical to ensure that I don't just go, the fact that it is an open Wi-Fi means I latch on.
Yeah.
You have to ensure that the connection that I'm doing is secure.
And how will they ensure that?
Oh, today, guess what? A number of the banks that we deal with, now financial institutions that we deal with, in terms of security, any transactions is on a secure platform.
Right.
Now, as an SSO, I want to do anything. Look, today we have what's called the VPN.
Yeah.
I want to ensure that any connection that I do is secure. Now, look, it's just not a matter of, you don't consider those things to be cost. It's more or less are you providing security for your household or your office premises. You ensure that the site that I go to is just your normal, is it HTTPS or just a normal unsecured site? You have to ensure that it's a secure site, because the only way for any any person who wants to get to whatever you're doing and to ensure that they hurt you is through an unsecure site. You have to ensure that there are various means for all those keys to steal information, phishing and all of that. I believe there have been times like we've had programs on security, on cyber security.
Right.
It is very critical. It's not every spam that comes you click on. You are doing business. It's the fact that I connect to cheap Wi-Fi or I don't pay for that connectivity, go for it, because it's an opportunity for somebody to get to you.
Right. So it's an opportunity for someone to get to you if you're going to connect to an unsecured Wi-Fi connection. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask our guest to tell us a few tips on how to prepare your business to work from home. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
thousands of cars are imported, wrecked, stolen, or flooded. Discover the state of the car before it was imported with the Home Used Car app. Install the Hooker app on your mobile device now and get up to 10 images to help you assess the damages on the car. Hooker is spelled H-U-C-A. Available on iOS and Android devices. Visit homeusedcar.com for more details.
Oh, once you need, mate, see, collect my phone and tell the person, say, it fell in your car. I need to send this person mobile money, but we are not on the same network, and he also won't understand.
You can now send and receive mobile money on all networks across a year easy.
Hey, sir, I didn't know.
From your network to other networks, you can now send and receive mobile money directly across IA Easy. This service is powered by GIFT.
And we're back. My name is Kobby Spiky Nkrumah. You're listening to Geek Squad, the show that breaks down technology and brings it closer to you. So I'm on the phone with Desmond Israel. He's a cybersecurity specialist, and Kingsley Bennett. He's a work-from-home specialist. Oh yeah, and Desmond Israel is also a lawyer. So if you're thinking of suing me for anything, I've got a lawyer. Anyway, so Hooker. Are you buying a used car? Discover the state of the car before it's imported with the Home Used Car app. Download and install the Hooker app on your mobile device now and enter the vehicle identification number of the car, also known as the chassis number, and get up to 10 images to help you assess the damages on the car before it's imported. The Hooker app gives a detailed report on the car's undercarriage, the suspension, the transmission, the engine, and electrical systems before importation. Make the best buying decision. Check before you buy your next car with the Home Used Car or Hooker app. Hooker is spelled H-U-C-A-H-U-C-A. It's available on iOS and Android devices, or you can just visit homeusedcar.com for more details. Hooker app will let you know if it's accident-free. Dear parents or guardians, Joy Learning is intensifying teaching lessons in these times as the reported COVID-19 cases in Ghana have compelled schools to close down. Do not allow COVID-19 to prevent your child from learning. Joy Learning has you covered. So just tune your television channel to Joy Learning and access all our classroom lessons and other educational programs. With Joy Learning, education is secured, convenient, and easily accessible anywhere, anytime, in the comfort of your home. Get a multi-TV digibox for your kids now. Joy Learning, keep learning. So, Kingsley and Desmond, I told you when we come back, you're going to give my audience a few tips. Both of you threw around the word VPN. And as I started the show by saying, sometimes we think that they know, but someone's probably asking VPN and don't say it there. This one, you threw it out first. So what's a VPN and why is it so important for security working from home?
Okay, so the VPN, I can comfortably say it's an acronym for Virtual Private Network.
Right.
Now, virtual because it's not something that for the user is created physically, but then the service provider actually creates these sort of channels for you. And I want you to view channels as in this literal meaning, a tunnel that you can actually go through. So what a VPN does is it ensures that all your communication from your gadgets, so your gadget could be your mobile phone,
right.
It could be your iPad, it could be your Android tab, it could be your phone, it could be your laptop, or even your systems, as in desktops, servers, or any other digital device that you are going to use to ensure that communication.
Right.
So now what a VPN does is once you are connected to a VPN, we have what we call the end-to-end encryption. I'm sure a lot of people may have heard it from WhatsApp.
Yeah.
The end-to-end encryption. So here, data that comes from my device is encrypted, is jumbled up, so that it doesn't make sense to anybody, a third party outside that communication, that can electronically intercept it would not make sense out of it. So when you are using a VPN, you are actually ensuring the security of the communication between the two endpoints. So either you as the business and the other party over the other side as the client, or a business to a business, or a government to a business, or a government to a government. Whoever is at the endpoint is assured of the fact that this communication is coming through one particular highway, and security about it is guaranteed. Now, the level of VPN security always comes with the service provider choice, and it's a service. Some come free, so you can subscribe for it. It gives you up to an amount of bandwidth that will allow you to traffic for free. And some are purely commercial, and depending on your needs, you actually subscribe to them. So yes, the reason why we are saying that you need a VPN is we are taking the wild guess that we are in an open marketplace. That working from home is going to be done over the internet or over telecommunication network. That is, the internet is an open space. So the assumption we are both taking as professionals is that we are in an open market space. Unless you want everybody to hear that Kwame is paying 50,000 cedis for his service, you might want that thing to go through a communication where Kwame is assured of that
privacy.
Exactly, that privacy and that security of content. That whatever I'm telling my vendor or my service provider is adding as much confidentiality as possible. So VPN in its normal, ordinary meaning is that virtual private network which gives you a security or a secure channel for your communication without adding all the fancy technical terms to it. You want a VPN, the purpose is that you want security of communication between two parties. What you use your VPN for. So it can actually be a device to device, actually, without people being behind it. Yes. An example is if I were we've done some pen testing during this lockdown period. We actually had to do the work outside Ghana. And we had to go through a VPN to pen test those applications on those servers. You understand? So people were not behind the other end. The other end is a device that is hosting an application, which your work is to look at the security of it, where it is seated. But you see, we also don't want to risk the opportunity of we communicating with this device, and there is another person with same level or much better level of intellect when it comes to security than us, intercepting traffic through our pen testing engagement, which is a professional service, and then creating the unfortunate for our clients. So we have to go through a VPN and ensure that whatever work we are doing is going through that particular channel. And let's also use the VPN because of the added service that it provides in anonymity and also IP masking. IP masking is basically the internet identity that you get when you connect to a network, which usually we call IP address. VPNs allow you to probably assign yourself maybe an IP that I'm probably connecting from Russia, I'm connecting from Iran. It's done for a lot of reasons. There are some malicious actors use it to hide the anonymity of where they are staging their attacks from. And some actually legit actors use it to sign up to certain services. I'll give you an example. There's a service in Russia. It's for security purposes. You are never going to be allowed to use that service, even if you paid for, without having a Russian IP address. So the only way that we get connected as security persons is to use a VPN and assign ourselves as a Russian location. Then we authenticate with the legit account that the business provided us.
So you can get access.
Then we can get access.
So it's just basically like you want to listen to.
Start off with what we call ethical hacking or hacking in the plain terms, thinking that I'm going to get a VPN, I'm going to hide myself. well, that's one part of it. But if you practice security over the years, you would even realize that there is more to a VPN than just hiding who you are and doing malicious acts. VPN actually opens you up to other business environments. Payment gateways that do not allow you to transact because you are coming from another location you have to belong to that location before you can transact. You can go via VPN and the rest. So working from home, connecting to a VPN, in summary, one, you get the security of it. Two, you get the convenience of connecting to your partners in their own environment, especially for those partners that would not allow you to connect outside jurisdiction.
Yeah.
The jurisdiction here being the country or geographical location of choice. So that is what the VPN would do for you. The security, and of course, if there is a need to anonymize, why not? Because there are also reasons. We've done work where we have to anonymize just to prove to the other side that I can actually come into your environment and it will be difficult for you to determine who I am.
Right.
Even though I have a local IP address and I'm connected with your own Wi-Fi, you will find it difficult to trace me because that IP will lead you outside your network when I'm actually within your network. So that is another angle that you can look at it.
So in effect, basically, if you're a business or and your employees are working from home, make sure that they have a VPN to remain secure.
For all those, you remember I said earlier, and I like the other speaker's approach. I think it's broken down the reality of implementation. I'd add just a little about performance monitoring before I hang up. But just coming back to the point that you made, you don't apply VPN for everybody for the sake of it.
Right.
It's like when you are asking for encryption in your work environment. Yes, in some environments they say, okay, all corporate laptops should be encrypted. In some environments, they tell you level 1 critical data holders, all those assets should be encrypted. Back to my point. So when you are going to opt for VPN, it is a service that you're actually going to pay for. So you assign to those critical services, that means, the content of the communication encrypted. Look, if I am doing a normal help desk service or a customer front end, and we have our own voice over IP, maybe wired over the internet, and I can call from home and chat with clients and explain their problems to them and deal with their issues while I'm home, where they actually think that I'm working from the office, that particular communication in a certain context might not even need a VPN.
Right.
Exactly. But if that communication the person is going to have probably would end up containing very critical information that you're worried about, or that this information should be kept confidential between the business and its client, then of course I would opt that, yes, get a VPN for them. So let's start off by saying, first of all, assign who is going to work from home.
Right.
If everybody is going to work from home, let's determine their level of work. Some people will only need phones and their talk time. That's all they need.
And then some will need computers.
Exactly. They might not even need internet.
Right.
Some might not even turn on their laptops. Because we might never get them doing anything for us from the corporate endpoint over the internet. We might probably need them to make certain follow-up phone calls, and they are probably updating the house through a WhatsApp platform.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So let's not make working from home look very grandeur and then will push people back. Working from home can be simple, straightforward. Let's look at the tools that work for you. Let's look at your critical services that you are moving online or you're moving home, so that those are the things that you are going to focus on. Will your meetings be okay if it's a WhatsApp call? It's a WhatsApp conference call. Will those meetings be fine? Then why do you want to do the meeting over Hangout and waste data?
True.
Exactly. So
okay.
Must be taken.
Thank you very much, Desmond. Thank you so much for this. We've almost, we have run out of time. We just have 2 minutes left. So I'm going to let Kingsley give us just a quick few tips for those, businesses or individuals who want to work from home. Just a few tips real quick.
Okay. So key, Spiky.
Yeah.
It's essential that you need to do a critical analysis. Is it all my staff who need to work, as my other friend said, work securely? As I said, it's not everybody who must work securely.
Yeah.
So as I said, you don't need, even internet will not be necessary. So you have to do a critical analysis as to who holds critical information. You have to ensure. I go to a lot of websites, but the website that you are going, if you know you hold a critical information, is the website that I'm going secured. What do you call, is it HTTPS? You call something, what, secure socket layer, SSL. Is it that ensures security both from the server side and the browser side? you have to ensure that the SSL is secure.
Mm.
It is very much critical. As I said, it's not everybody needs to be working secure. Working from home does not mean that I need a robust kind of solution and all that.
Mm.
But in all these things, you have to ensure that, look, internet connectivity is critical in our area. Consistency cannot be assured. Even availability cannot be assured. So even if it is available, can I make sure that whatever the internet connectivity is it with the solution that or whatever I'm working on, whatever I'm working via with VPN, SSL, what I'm working on, is it do I need minimal amount of bandwidth to ensure that I connect with? You
Great.
have to do all these analysis.
Great. Right. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, Desmond. Thank you very much, Kingsley, for your submissions. It's been very educative. I've learned a lot. And yeah, the show has been Geek Squad, brought to you by Home Use Car App, the Hookah app. Discover the state of your car before it's imported, and mobile money interoperability, powered by Gips. Be our hero. Be safe. Stay home. My name is Kobby Spiky Nkrumah. Catch me next week on Geek Squad to learn more about tech and become a geek.